Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey Barnett, your New York State Youth Governor for the 2013-2014 year. This is the video on how to write a legislative bill. Okay, so what I have up here is just a little run through of the bill formatting process, and I'm going to take you through each step. This way each of you can be successful in writing your own bill. So the first thing that we have is the fact that your bill must adhere to standardized formula. And what that means is that each bill has to be written in a font of Times New Roman size 10. This way everything can fit. The first part of your bill is your title or your Enact 2. In your title, it should be a brief statement of the issue that you're trying to address. And this should be in one complete sentence. Now remember, every single sentence that you write in your bill must be a complete sentence. Otherwise, it just looks unorganized and not very neat. So now we're going to move on to the summary provisions. In your summary provisions, you'll be breaking it down into at least two sections. In section 1, that's where you include all your definitions. So if there's a word that you want to clarify to your audience, and it might be something that people don't generally know, that's a good place to put it. When you have it in the section 1, make sure that you have it underlined and then with a dash of your definition. Next we have the section 2. Your section 2 is where you're going to put your original law. It's very important that you have your original law and that it's put into your bill so that people know where you're coming from. People want to know where you found your law and what you're going to be changing, and this is exactly where that has to go. When you insert the portion of your original law that pertains to the bill that you're trying to create, make sure you underline the section that you're looking to amend or the section that you're looking to change. All of this goes into section 2. Remember that in section 2, you are allowed to have subsections. This is where you can go into a little more detail about what you're going to do with the bill and how it pertains to the original law. But make sure that you keep section 2 completely pertained to your original law. So the next section is your justification section, and this is the main portion of your bill. This is where you have a little more freedom to write about your bill, and it kind of plays into what your opening and closing should look like, but without spoiling all the details and the facts that you're going to use to promote your argument. In your justification, try and keep it to about 2 paragraphs, maybe even 1, and in those paragraphs, describe the bill's concept and offer the arguments in favor of the proposed solution. If people are reading through your bill, this is where you're really going to captivate them because in the justifications is where you're going to promote your argument. This section also utilizes research to describe the problem that you're trying to address and how you plan to fix it. So like I said before, give a little bit of facts, but not all of them, because you don't want to spoil your argument, and especially the things that you look to bring to people when you do your opening and closing summations. So now we're up to the fiscal implications portion of the bill. Fiscal implications might not apply to everybody, but keep in mind that it is significant. A lot of the times people look to fiscal implications to decide whether or not they want to con or pro the bill. This is where you need to be specific, and you need to tell people how much your bill or how much your idea is going to cost. Make sure that in your fiscal implications, you're going over things like current state budgets, identify revenue sources, projected savings, because that's important. If you're saving money, people will love your bill. And also go over what people might complain about as far as things like unfunded mandates and taxes. Anytime that you have a bill over environmental factors, taxes, social issues, most of the time they have heavy fiscal implications. So this is where you really, if you're in any of those topics or you have done the research that suggests that you're going to need to have the state cost money to run your bill, this is where you need to include all that information. So now we're on our last section, the effective date. In many people's opinion, the effective date is the easiest part of bill writing because it's just one sentence. Make sure that in your effective date, if you have a certain effective date that needs to be put into place with your bill due to other restrictions that could be on your topic, make sure you include it there. If you don't, a lot of people tend to just write, bill will go into effect 1 year after passage, and something like that is perfectly fine as long as you remember that in all of these sections you have full sentences because full sentences are the key. Keep in mind that if you're having trouble finding a bill, you can always go back and look at past bill books, and a lot of the time you can have information displayed there and you can even be inspired on how you want to set up your bill. As long as it stays within the format that's in the template, then you're fine.